If we haven't met before, my name is Amanda Johanna May. I'm a mom of two. I'm a woman who loves Jesus deeply, and I'm someone who's walked through both seasons of clarity and seasons where everything felt heavy and confusing at the same time. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a theologian. I don't have formal ministry credentials. What I do have is lived experience. I know what it feels like to love God and to still feel overwhelmed. To believe He has a plan and to not be able to see it clearly. To want peace, but to feel like everything depends on you. This work was born out of a season where I realized I wasn't failing spiritually, I was exhausted. And instead of pushing harder, I learned how to slow down, how to listen, how to notice what was actually mine to carry and what wasn't. This video is the beginning of that process. And I want to start by saying something that might feel simple, but it matters. If you're watching this, it means you paused. You chose to stop scrolling. You chose to slow down for just a few moments. You chose to give your attention to your inner world instead of just managing the outside one. That alone tells me something about you. You care. You want alignment. You're not numb even if you feel so tired. And today we're not fixing your life. We're not building a 5-year plan. We're not trying to manufacture a spiritual breakthrough. We're doing something much gentler. We are noticing, because most women are not collapsing because they're incapable. They are collapsing because they're carrying too much without ever stopping to name it. So I want to begin with a very simple question. Where does life feel heavy right now? Not busy, not full, heavy. There is a difference. Busy can feel energizing. Full can feel purposeful. Heavy feels different. Heavy feels like pressure sitting on your chest. Heavy feels like waking up already behind. Heavy feels like if one small thing shifts, everything might fall apart. Heavy feels like you're the glue, and if you stop holding it together, it all collapses. Just sit with that question for a moment. Where does life feel heavy right now? You don't need to answer it out loud. You don't need to write anything down. Just notice what immediately rises. For some of you, it's family, the logistics, the scheduling, the invisible remembering of everything for everyone, being the emotional thermostat for your house, or feeling like if you fall apart, the whole tone of your home is going to shift. For some of you, it's work or responsibility, the deadlines, expectations, being relied on, having to be competent all the time, being the one who handles it, and the pressure to not drop the ball. For some of you, it's relationships, feeling unseen, feeling like you are the initiator, feeling like you're always walking on eggshells, feeling like you're holding space for everyone else, but no one's holding it for you. For some of you, it's your faith. You love God, but you feel disconnected. You want depth, but you feel distracted. You want clarity, but everything feels foggy. For some of you, it's within your body. Fatigue, tension, running on caffeine and adrenaline, ignoring signals because there's no time to slow down. And for some of you, it's everything. If that's you, hear this clearly. Heaviness does not mean you're failing. It means you're carrying more than you were ever meant to carry on your own. And many women have never been taught to differentiate between what is theirs to carry and what is not. So we're going to do something small but powerful. Instead of trying to solve the heaviness, we're going to locate just one lever, Just one. Pick one area that felt heavy when I named it. Not all of them, just one. I want you to stay there. Now gently ask yourself, within this area, what's actually mine to influence? Not control, influence. You may not control other people's choices. You may not control outcomes. You may not control how others respond. You may not control the season you are in. But there's always one small lever available. Let's make this practical. If the heaviness is within your family, you may not control your child's mood, but you can choose to pause before reacting. You may not control the chaos that surrounds you, but you can influence the tone you bring to it. You may not control everyone's needs, but you can control whether you ask for help. If the heaviness is work, you may not control your deadlines, but you can decide not to skip lunch again. You may not control your boss, but you can choose whether you internalize their stress. You may not control the volume or the workload, but you can influence your pace. If the heaviness is in your faith, you may not control when you feel spiritual, but you can choose to give God 5 honest minutes instead of waiting for an hour you never take. If the heaviness is within your body, you may not control long-term outcomes, but you can choose to go to bed 30 minutes earlier tonight. You can decide to drink enough water today. The point is not to overhaul your life. The point is to interrupt the lie that you are powerless. Because heaviness makes you feel powerless. It makes you feel like everything depends on you, but nothing is adjustable. That's rarely true. Now, I want you to notice something else. As you identified that one small lever, what happened in your body? Did you feel a slight sense of relief? Did you feel resistance? Did you feel doubt? All of that is information. Many women do not struggle with laziness. They struggle with over-functioning. They keep going, they keep absorbing, they keep carrying, they keep enduring, and they call it faithfulness. But stewardship is different from self-abandonment. Stewardship asks, what has God entrusted to me? And am I caring for it well? And that includes you, your energy, your attention, your emotional capacity, your limits. You are not the savior of your home. You are not the savior of your workplace. You are not the savior of your relationships. You are a steward within them. And stewardship is lighter than control. Let that land with you for a moment. You're not meant to hold all of it. Psalm 127 reminds us that unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. You're not sustaining force. You are not the sustaining force. God is. So here's your invitation from this session. Do not fix everything. Do not create a big long list. Do not promise yourself a total reset tonight. Just adjust one lever. One, before tomorrow. If the lever was rest, rest. If the lever was a boundary, pause before saying yes. If the lever was honesty with God, take 5 quiet minutes. If the lever was hydration, drink water. If the lever was going to bed earlier, set an alarm so you do. Small is not insignificant, and sustainable creates momentum. And then in the next part of this series, we're going to go even deeper, because identifying heaviness is just the first layer. Next, we're going to learn how to discern what is pressure and what is invitation. And that shift changes everything. For now, steward one thing well. You're not powerless, you're not behind, and you're not meant to carry everything alone. Stewarding one thing is enough for today. Remember, before you go, if something shifted for you today, even slightly, that matters. If you identified one area of heaviness, that matters. If you realized you're not actually powerless, that matters. But this is only the first layer. Inside my full program, we go deeper. We walk through how to discern pressure versus invitation in real time, how to rebuild alignment in your faith without performance, how to steward your energy and emotional capacity sustainably, how to take faithful action without burning yourself out, and how to realize what was never yours to carry. This isn't information. It's guided work. It's layered and it's intentional. And it's built to help you move from overwhelmed to aligned. So if today resonated with you, you're ready to go deeper, comment reset below and I'll get you all the details. You do not have to carry everything alone. And you do not have to figure all of this out by yourself. I'll see you inside. Bye for now.